Sitting here on campus, you can get to the internet almost no matter where you are. But what if you didn't have Wi-Fi? And what if you didn't have any power? And then, what if you were sitting in the middle of Africa? Yeah, it'd be warmer.
We are installing a satellite computer connection.
We spent basically, from dawn to dusk and even further on in the village setting up the computer.
Not only have they not used a computer before, they've never seen a computer before in many of the cases, literally. We asked them.
They had heard about what a computer is. Most of them hadn't really seen a computer.
It's another thing to actually go to Africa and just to see it firsthand and to have to deal with the challenges.
Not only is MSU learning about the physical aspects of the computer and, does it really work in these rugged conditions and things like that, but also it's a real learning experience for Tanzania.
This gives them an opportunity to see the rest of the world.
Sparty at the Detroit airport.
That's right.
The idea was we'd take a succession of our student teams.
Sparty aboard flight
6:15
to Amsterdam.
Let them design systems.
And so it's a student-led project to deploy satellite solar-powered internet computers in a rural school.
240 volt power inverter.
The project is to develop a computer system that is cheap so that it can be deployed in third world countries to give students access to the internet.
And then we would take them actually to, in this case, Tanzania, and try them out in a school and see what lessons we learned.
Here's our telecom professor. Trying to get some signal, make a phone call. We suggested he stand next to the satellite dish.
It's a really fun project.
We really wanted to be in this project from the beginning.
As a university, we've got a bunch of bright young students that can get involved in projects like this.
We went out to a primary school in a very rural region of Tanzania.
The reason we chose Tanzania was because we were looking for a good place that would test out a computer, under rugged environmental conditions.
I'm going to double-click the calculator. That brings up the calculator.
It's hot, extremely hot, it's extremely dusty.
About a year ago, we talked to a company called Lenovo, and they're the people who build the ThinkPad computers. They were interested in working with us on trying to develop a computer system that could be used in remote locations. For example, in an African village where there isn't a power grid, but they still want to provide connectivity to the internet and so forth.
We designed a computer system with a solar power.
Underneath there, we got the wires.
So that it could be deployed off-grid, which the school that we put it on didn't have access to power. It didn't have access to water.
Definitely out of the way, no power grid, no telecommunications infrastructure, off any sort of major road.
Crawl under here and install the nuts and bolts so these things don't fall off.
We gave them a rather abstract set of specifications and said, go for it. They designed something, they came along with us, they did most of the implementation work.
And as it turned out, it was an excellent place to do it because people were so excited to have this computer in their classroom.
Kids from the village were around, and of course they were fascinated.
The students were just really happy that we were there.
And they quizzed our students on math problems on the blackboard.
Wanted to play with us.
Our students played a little soccer with them.
They were just all so happy,
They didn't have a real soccer ball.
Like instead of a soccer ball, they have a ball of rags.
We're sure going to take care of that next time we go back.
They were watching the whole time.
One of the students brought a little handheld video game on his cell phone.
Yeah, they jumped right on that. Most people there had never seen an iPhone or even heard of an iPhone.
And he started passing it around to the students. They were just sitting around outside the school as we were working. And they'd never had a chance to do that before. And it's fun. They were just delighted.
They were all really willing to pick up the technology. They want to learn how to use it.
The Tanzanian school kids also helped, they helped digging trenches to put the conduit in to communicate with the satellite and just whatever they could do. It's a pretty good environment for solar power.
This one is totally off the edge of the frame. Got the solar panels up and up and running.
So we got 6 solar panels. They generate about 80 watts each.
Did you put washers?
And put them in a frame on the roof of the school. We had students, and even I was climbing around on the roof of the school.
Put the monitors and got everything situated the way we wanted it, and she ended up spending about like a 14-hour day straight, actually doing the final install, which was a pretty crazy hectic day. There was a lot of wiring to be done. But once we got it all together, it all worked on the first try. It was a pretty amazing experience.
It's not just that it's the internet per se, but it's that it's information. Because this school, like most schools, hardly have any books at all. So any kind of information is just, I mean, people are thirsty for information.
A delightful surprise to me. They called me up and Professor Olson and gave us the traditional garb that they wear. And then they gave me it's a sort of a club that's called a rungu. And it's something that elders are allowed to carry, others can't. And they made me an honorary elder of their group. When you get older in that country, you get more respect, not less respect. It was very moving that they wanted to have us feel like we were a part of their community.
3 keys to the 3 compartments on that large metal box here, and with these keys go responsibility.
Well, we wanted to essentially turn the keys to the system over to the village, letting them understand that it's theirs.
As far as we know, the telecommunications professors there told us that this is the first primary school in Tanzania that has internet access. And so it's an experiment, you know, to see what works, what doesn't work, what the teachers and the students get the most out of the internet and of the computer.
So it may be a first. At least it's an early pioneering system in a Maasai village, in a village where they don't have electric power.
This is actually an opportunity where you get out there and you're really doing something concrete.
For our students, of course, this represents an opportunity to work on something with a real customer, with real users in a school in Tanzania, and learn to do something that is very exciting. The student teams are very highly motivated. You know, they say, I don't care how much we have to work on this, we're going to make it work.
It was a really busy, crazy week, but it was really worth it.
Go! Go!